What is happening, guys? Archiezzle here and welcome to another video. Archiezzle, hope you guys are having a great day. Today's video we're going to be talking about the 5 hacks. 5 secrets for you guys to pass the Army basic training like easy peasy, just a breeze with no issues. Okay? Bear in mind, these 5 hacks that I'm about to share you is not really so much of a secret. People have been doing this for ages, for years. A lot of people have done it to pass the basic training. And not just basic training, but any physical event. People sometimes do this also in preparation for like some sort of like sports event like wrestling, a basketball game, a football game, and so much more. And without further ado, are you ready for this? This is, again, based on my opinion, my experiences, and it might differ depending on yours, but try it out, especially if you're worried and if you just need a little bit more extra help. So to make sure that you are going to pass Army basic training, here are the 5 hacks, okay? Number 1, this is pretty basic. You have to pass the APFT, the Army Physical Fitness Test, regular Army standards before you even go to Army basic training. I repeat, pass the US Army APFT standards before going to basic training. I can't stress this enough. I've seen it so many times. Well, people don't prepare physically to go to basic training. So what happens is they go straight to basic training and they fail out of basic training because they cannot pass the PT test. For those of you guys who do not know, the PT test for the Army has 3 events. 2 minutes of push-ups, 2 minutes of sit-ups, and a 2-mile run. Everything is dependent on how old you are and what your gender is. I'm gonna give you guys a link down below for my blog spot. It shows the whole table on what's the bare minimum to pass and the maximum score that you can achieve if you're really that high speed or too much of a hua type of soldier. Think about this also. Let's backtrack. I can't stress it enough. Again, if you cannot pass it like regular Army standards, sometimes this actually happens. People go to basic training and they do not even know the 3 events that they should perform to pass the APFT. That right there is already a setup for failure on your part, your recruiter, or whoever helped you out during this process of joining the Army. Because if you don't even know these 3 events, you are probably gonna suck because you haven't done push-ups in like ages. Or I have seen people so many times, they go to basic training and they fail out because they cannot adapt, because they cannot pass the PT test. So that's just the number 1 hack. So be physically fit, be mentally prepared to do so, to pass the APFT standards before you go to basic training, because that's the number 1 thing that people fail. And once you fail, you are probably gonna get recycled or just kicked out of the Army, you know, just discharged. And again, that can be avoided if you can pass the APFT standards before you even go to basic training. Push-ups, sit-ups, 2-mile run. That's all you need. Number 2 for my hacks to pass basic training in the Army is water and a salt packet. It doesn't make sense for some people, but for some of you guys that's been in the Army for a while, it does make a lot of sense. Because once you go to training, they're gonna drill this to you like in your head every day. Take a knee and drink water. If you're gonna go to basic training during the summer, it's gonna be super hot. So you gotta make sure that you're hydrated because you don't wanna be a heat casualty. The thing is, sometimes people overdo it and they drink too much water. And if you drink too much water, you're basically flushing out all the electrolytes in your body. Flushing it out meaning hemodilution. And whenever we do company runs, especially the ruck march, when you're carrying a heavy ruck with your weapon in full battle rattle, for like 12 miles at the later end of basic training, people usually pass out because of heat exhaustion, and sometimes, I bet it has happened before, heat stroke. So a way to prevent this, obviously, because you cannot have Gatorade while in basic training, you can't have any sort of like supplements or anything like that, or any special drink. It's just water. So whenever you have a chance to eat an MRE, there's always gonna be a salt packet in it. Salt. It's just salt, that's it. NaCl. Salt, that's it. Just go ahead and add that in your canteen, shake it a little bit, and go chug it and drink it. Retain the fluids in your body and to make sure that you're hydrated so you don't get cramps, you don't get heat exhaustion, and eventually you do not get any heat stroke, because that will be a bad scenario. You know what happens if you pass out and they have to give you fluids like ASAP, like time now? Ranger IV. And where does it go? Up in your butt. Number 3 on my hacks to pass the Army basic training. This is kind of different. This is kind of weird, I guess, for some people. And some people don't really do this because they just want to maximize their time sleeping. okay? We all know that there's gonna be a wake-up time. Usually the drill sergeant will knock and bang your doors in your barracks, in your bay, 80-man bay, how many people are in the bay, to wake up. But what I did and what worked for me, so I don't have to share 8 shower heads between 40 people, 40 guys, is I wake up a little bit early. And there's only like what, like 6 sinks or sometimes just 8. It depends if you have a sucky basic training area. So what I did, so I don't have to battle with like 40 plus other people, I wake up a little bit early so I can shower, I can shave, or do whatever hygiene that I need to do before anyone else. So with that said, I maximized my time even though I was really tired, but you know, that's what worked for me. So if it works for you, do so. Wake up a little bit early, wake up earlier than everyone so you can get your shit straight, everything done before the chaos. And believe me, I've seen it again so many times. Even in the regular army, people will wake up like at the last minute rushing, and you'll end up forgetting something, maybe missing a spot when you shave, especially if you are really like Wolverine or have a lot of facial hair. That's gonna be hard. Number 4, this is on my hacks to pass the army basic training, is to go to church. Red face or basic training in general, I guess the hardest part for me, people ask me a lot also, what's the hardest part in basic training? For me is having the free time, because everything is dictated by your drill sergeant. The time you wake up, you eat, you shower, you clean your weapons, you clean your barracks, you clean your bay, you go do physical training, exercises, you do some classes in the classroom, and a lot of crazy stuff. Everything's dictated by your drill sergeants. So you don't really have personal time. But on the weekend, every Sunday, if you're not religious or anything like that, they're not gonna force you to go to a religion or go to some sort of like worship or whatever and force you into it. There's a non-denominational church, meaning you can just go there and, you know, just be away from everyone. I saw that as a way to get out of basic training for a good hour and a half, because you know, you gotta march there, wait at the bus stop, go together as a group with your battle buddies to the church or whatever non-denominational church they have over there, and then go back again to basic training. So it was a good break from all the chaos. And if you are really religious, you know, most of the time, you know, and my light is acting up. Most of the time, all religions will be accommodated, and again, it's just a good way to reflect, you know, take a little pause, a tactical pause if you will, and just get away from basic training for a bit. It doesn't mean that you can go around and act like crazy or do something stupid. It's just there so you can reflect on things, worship, pray, and just be away from everyone. Oh, I found this out also, I forgot to mention. If you play any instruments like drums, I guess guitar or something, there's a band in the churches. So if you want to volunteer during Sundays or the weekend, you can definitely do that and be part of the church band or something. Last but not the least, my last hack to pass the army basic training is to never volunteer for anything. Again, the hardest part for me while in basic training in the army is I didn't have any free time. It was more of a mental thing than a physical thing. I prepared physically. I was in the late entry program for like 6 months. So it was pretty easy for me physically because I prepared like 6 months. That's like half a year waiting. So I ended up going to the gym, running a lot, working on my push-ups, sit-ups, and started lifting weights. So it was pretty much easy for me. And I bet this is not the first time that you're gonna hear this. Do not volunteer. You can be the platoon guide, the platoon leader, whatever they call it. I forgot. The guy who's in charge, or the acting platoon sergeant for the basic training platoon, or whatever you want to do it. Even a squad leader, you know, there's gonna be a day or a time that you will become a squad leader or a team leader. That's bound to happen. But if you always volunteer for every single thing, that's just gonna eat up your free time, and it's not really like you don't really give a shit or you don't care. It's just sometimes you have to step back and let other people do so. In basic training, if you volunteer for everything, that's good and well, but it's not really needed. But if you are that type of person who's really competitive and always want to be on top, you can do it. Just be prepared to lose all your free time and have a lot of extra responsibilities that you may or may not be ready, especially in your current situation. Well, that's it for this video because this light is acting up and it's getting annoying. Those are my 5 hacks to pass the army basic training. Let me know what else you guys want to see for the next video, and I hope this one helps you. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe, and hit that bell icon to be part of the notification squad so you do not miss any videos, okay? That's it for today. Archiezzle out. Yeah. Shit, I want to join the army. I want to be like an airborne ranger, EOD special forces sapper, and shoot fucking enemies in the face. 2 in the chest, 1 in the head. That's what I want to do. That's it. I'm not gonna take anything if it's not 11 X-ray, 11 something. I just want combat. That's all I want. Is it really like Call of Duty? Because that's what I want, you know, like a job that can get me promoted like really fast and quick like that. I have a really good kill to death ratio, man. I've watched all the basic training videos. I've watched all the ranger training videos. I watch all the airborne videos on YouTube, like anywhere. I memorize categorize that shit like it's like I eat, breathe, sleep, combat jobs. I want a combat job. I'm not gonna take anything if it's not a combat job. I'm out. Fuck it, I'm out. Yeah, my dad was in the army. He was in the army. He was a ranger. You know, he told me not to accept any job. Like, if you recruiters tell me that I can have a certain job, don't accept the first one. What? No bonuses? He said not to accept anything that doesn't have any bonus. He said there's always a bonus. You're bullshitting me. You're lying. Okay, 11.